What would you do if your child had to jump or slowly fade away high above a restless northern ocean? On a cliff carved by centuries of wind and salt, a small puffin chick stands at the edge of his world. Tonight, his future hangs in the balance. Below him, waves crash against ancient stone, steady, powerful, indifferent. Above him, the sky stretches wide and gray, fading slowly into dusk. This cliff is home. It is shelter. It is safety. But it is not forever. His parents built their nest here, tucked into the rock, protected from the wind, hidden from the worst of the storms. They have fed him, shielded him, watched over him, and now they must do the hardest thing any parent will ever do. Let him go. Out here, survival isn't guaranteed. The ocean provides food, but only for those who can reach it. And the only way down is a leap of faith. The young puffin inches closer to the edge. His wings are still new. His body still unsure. The wind feels stronger when you're small. If he stays, hunger will come slowly, quietly, relentlessly. If he jumps, there is risk. Real risk. A shadow passes overhead. Large seabirds circle these cliffs, always watching for opportunity. The world does not pause for hesitation. The chick trembles. His mother sees it. She steps toward him, calm but steady. She gently brushes her wing across his head. No words, just presence. You are stronger than you think. You were made for this. His father moves toward the cliff's edge. He does not rush. He does not dramatize the moment. He simply steps forward and leaps. For a breathless second, he disappears into open air. Then his wings open wide. He glides downward in a smooth, practiced arc, confident, controlled, until he reaches the ocean safely below. A few seconds later, the mother follows. They land near the water surface and look back toward the cliff. The young puffin stands alone now. The wind presses against his chest. The sky darkens into evening blue. The moon begins its quiet rise. He thinks of the warmth of the nest, the comfort of stillness. But comfort has limits. Another young puffin, further down the cliff, suddenly commits. He jumps. The wind catches him unevenly. He struggles. He lands hard against a rocky ledge before reaching the water. He survives, but the moment is harsh. The cliff grows silent. The lesson is clear. Courage is not the absence of danger. It is the decision that something else matters more. The young puffin steps forward again. Closer this time. Pebbles shift beneath his feet. The ocean roars below, but now it sounds different. Not like a threat, like a destination. He takes a slow breath. His heart races, but it does not stop him. He leans into the wind. And then, he jumps. For one long, suspended moment. There is nothing but air. The cliff falls away behind him. The sky opens around him. His wings stretch wide. Instinct takes over. The wind lifts him. Not perfectly, not effortlessly, but enough. He adjusts, corrects, trusts. The water rises quickly now. And then, splash. The cold ocean surrounds him. But he is floating, alive. His parents swim toward him. Not rescuing, not carrying, just guiding. Together, the three of them move across the surface of the sea. The cliff behind them grows smaller. The horizon grows wider. Soon, the chick begins to dive, shallow at first, learning how to search beneath the waves for small fish. Each attempt builds confidence. Each movement grows stronger. The ocean that once seemed overwhelming now feels like possibility. This is the life of a puffin. Born on the edge. Raised in uncertainty. Strengthened by risk. Every generation must take the leap. Every parent must stand back at some point and trust the wings they helped build. And every one of us, no matter our age, faces moments like this. Moments where staying feels safer, but jumping leads to growth. The young puffin glides beside his parents now, no longer trembling. The same wind that once frightened him now carries him forward, because sometimes The only way to discover your strength is to step off the edge and trust that you were made to fly. Have you ever faced a moment in life where you had to take a leap, even when you were afraid? Share your story in the comments below. Subscribe for more incredible wild life stories. How far would a mother go if her children hadn't eaten in days? In the vast, sun-scorched wilderness of the Namib Desert, where the Atlantic Ocean collides with endless dunes, a lone brown hyena moves through the rising heat. She walks with purpose. Her long, shaggy coat is bleached by salt and sun. Her ears twitch at every sound. Her nose stays low to the ground. This is not a land of abundance. There are no watering holes waiting around the next hill. No tall grasses hiding easy prey. Only sand, wind, and the constant test of endurance. Nearly 2 miles inland, hidden among stone and shadow, 2 cubs wait at the entrance of a shallow den. They shift restlessly. They whimper softly. Their ribs show through thin fur. They do not know how dangerous this world is. They only know they are hungry. The desert sun climbs higher. By midday, the sand becomes a furnace. Each step sinks into scorching grains that cling to her paws. Heat rises in shimmering waves from the dunes. The wind drags across the landscape in long, restless sighs. Still, she keeps walking. The day before, driven by desperation, she searched an abandoned human structure near the desert's edge. Rusted beams groaned in the wind. Loose metal rattled softly. Broken machinery lay scattered like forgotten skeletons. She moved through it carefully, cautiously, alert to every sound. She searched for scraps, for leftovers, for anything. There was nothing. When she returned to her cubs that evening, they rushed forward at once. Their tails flicked. Their eyes were bright with expectation. She lowered her head. Gently, she nuzzled them. She licked dust from their small faces. She lay beside them to share warmth. But warmth does not quiet hunger. So before dawn breaks again, she rises. The sky is still gray when she begins the long walk toward the coast. Along the shoreline of the Namib, life gathers in great numbers. A colony of seals rests across the beach, their bodies scattered along the sand. The Atlantic roars behind them, waves crashing against the shore in steady rhythm. For a brown hyena, this coastline is both opportunity and risk. She slows. Her body lowers behind a dune. Her breathing steadies. Her eyes remain fixed on the colony. Adult seals are strong. Their jaws are powerful. Their size alone can be dangerous. One wrong move, and the hunter becomes the injured. So she waits. Time stretches. The wind shifts direction. A few seals stir. Then, slowly, several adults slide toward the water. In a sudden burst of movement, she charges forward. Sand sprays behind her. In a single, decisive motion, she seizes a young seal in her jaws. The weight is heavy. She turns inland, toward the dunes, toward the den, toward her cubs. And then, the shadows move. They emerge from behind the dunes, drawn by the scent of opportunity. One darts forward. She drops the seal instantly and spins, jaws snapping with a sharp crack that cuts through the wind. More jackals appear. They spread out, circling, tightening. Their eyes lock onto the prey at her feet. She cannot run while carrying it, and she cannot abandon it. Back at the den, 2 cubs wait in silence. If she falls here, they will not survive. So she stands firm. The first jackal lunges. She meets it with force. Teeth clash. Growls explode across the sand. Bodies collide in a blur of fur and dust. Another tries to flank her. She pivots sharply, driving it back with a snap of crushing jaws. She is outnumbered, but she does not retreat. Her thick neck fur rises. Her stance widens. Her voice deepens into a warning that carries across the beach. This is not merely hunger defending prey. This is a mother defending the future. The struggle continues. Sand fills the air. Breath grows heavy. Small wounds mark her hide. Exhaustion creeps into her muscles. Still, she pushes forward. There is a shift. The jackals begin to hesitate. They circle at a safer distance now. The cost of attack is no longer certain. Step after burning step, dune after dune. She disappears into the vast desert. Behind her, the wind erases the evidence of conflict. The Namib keeps no monuments to bravery, only survivors. Hours later, she reaches the den. The cubs smell her before they see her. They rush forward, stumbling over one another in excitement. She drops the prey. They feed. She steps aside, breathing hard, watching them eat. Her body trembles with fatigue. Her eyes remain alert. Tomorrow will demand strength again, and the day after that. In the Namib Desert, survival is not won once. It is earned every sunrise, and yet, in this land of relentless hardship, something stronger than fear endures. A mother's instinct. The wind may bury her tracks. Time may slow her steps. The desert may challenge her again and again. But as long as she can stand, she will walk. As long as she can fight, she will defend. As long as she can endure the burning sand and the cutting wind, her cubs will have a chance. If this story meant something to you, don't just scroll past it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe survival is driven more by instinct, by strength, or by love? And have you ever witnessed a moment, human or animal, where a parent's sacrifice changed everything? Your perspective matters. She risked everything for one chance to save her cubs. Because when you're a mother, giving up is never an option. The strongest hearts beat the quietest. She was thrown into the freezing current 3 times. Each time, the icy force pushed her back. Her body struck hidden rocks. The cold wrapped around her like chains. Her legs trembled. Her chest burned. It would have been easier to let go. But she didn't. Because on the other side of that rushing water, her cubs were waiting. Hungry, weakening, trusting her to return. She is a mother puma, shaped by the mountains and tested by the wild. Not long ago, she and her cubs lived peacefully on the wide plateau. Mornings were golden. Her cubs played in tall grass, learning how to move, how to wait, how to survive. She watched them wrestle in the dust. She listened to their small growls as they practiced being brave. Even then, she knew the world would test them, and she was preparing them, one quiet lesson at a time. But seasons change. The drought came slowly. Streams shrank. Grass turned brittle. Prey grew scarce. The wind carried more dust than scent. The nights felt longer. The silence felt heavier. She saw it in her cubs' eyes, that quiet fatigue. Their steps were shorter. Their ribs slightly visible. Their energy fading. If you've ever cared for someone who depends on you, you understand that weight. They could not stay. So she led them forward across open land and uncertain ridges. Days passed. Hunger sharpened her focus. Every sound mattered. Every shadow was studied. Every decision could change everything. Then one afternoon, she saw them. A herd of guanacos grazing near stone outcrops. Tall, strong, alert. Hope stirred, but so did risk. A guanaco is powerful and fast. If she failed, her cubs would suffer. She looked back at them. They stood close together now. Quiet. Waiting. Doing nothing was no longer an option. Snow fell hard that night. By morning, the land was white. The herd began moving toward lower ground. She followed at a distance. Careful. Silent. When she reached the ridge, a valley opened below, touched by sunlight and thin patches of green. The herd slowed. This was the moment. She studied them patiently. Patience is survival. Rushing is defeat. Then she saw one slightly behind the others. She lowered herself into the snow. The wind favored her. Her muscles ached. Her strength was fading. But responsibility pushed her forward. Closer. Closer. Then she ran. The valley erupted. Hooves pounded. Snow scattered. The herd split apart. The chase demanded everything she had left. Her lungs burned. Her heart thundered. Her vision narrowed to one single goal. The struggle was powerful, but endurance carried her through. And slowly, it ended. Silence returned. She stood there, breathing deeply. Not triumphant, just relieved. The work was not over. Dragging the meal across the snow drained her remaining strength. Each step burned. Each pull tested her will, but she pictured her cubs, and she kept moving. When she reached safety, she called out. Her cubs came running. They gathered around the hard-earned meal. As they ate, she watched. Their breathing steadied. Their eyes brightened. Life returned. Their small bodies grew stronger with every bite. Hope returned to their movements. The future felt possible again. In that moment, the cold did not matter, because today they would live. For anyone who has ever carried responsibility for others, you understand this strength. It is quiet. It does what must be done. It keeps going when stopping would be easier. It wakes up tired and moves anyway. It faces uncertainty without applause. It chooses courage over comfort. Snow began to fall again, covering the tracks of the struggle. Tomorrow may bring new challenges. But tonight, her cubs rest. And she remains nearby, watchful, healing, ready. Because a mother puma does not fight for recognition. She fights for another sunrise. And that is real strength. If this story meant something to you, take a moment to like and follow for more powerful wildlife journeys. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had to be strong for someone else, even when you felt exhausted inside? Your story might inspire someone here today.